about to watch a Patreon live stream. If you're interested in participating in a future Patreon live stream, you should definitely consider joining my community at patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. You guys have anything on your mind? Anything that you want to like bring up for just conversation? Any questions? I mean, I've got lists of things that I want to explore today, but I kind of want to open the door for any kind of conversation you guys want to have too. One thing that I want to do is energy work for all of us. So I myself would like to do some energy work for myself. So I think just doing some chakra healing would be really nice. But I've got other stuff on the list here. Okay, let me bring it up. Now, Stephen, you had asked this really great question, and I have it here on my list, and I wanted to explore this. It's about the question is, can spirit shine some light on the subconscious mind's relationship to our soul? I think that's a fantastic question. I would really like to explore that myself, because a lot of the work that I do, I'm going into an energy field. All right. Energy field is full of collective selves. And these collective selves are beneath the surface of the conscious mind. So they're like subconscious selves. So what is it, these subconscious selves and the soul? Because the soul is a collective of consciousness. It's a collective of its own kind. It kind of separates from itself at different points on its journey and then comes back to those parts and brings them back to itself. So it's kind of like, are those parts of our soul, are those the subconscious? Or is the subconscious a different layer? And then beneath that is like something even deeper, what we could define as the soul energy. So I think that's a really great question. Okay, so Jessica, okay, you were asking about Sophia. And I wanted to do some channeling with Sophia today, just depending on what you guys want to explore. Dylan, you were saying about Lao Zhao, Lao Zhu. Maybe you can help me pronounce that. Me and names, I'm terrible. And the Tao, is it pronounced Tao or Dao? Dao. I don't know. You gotta help me out here, Dylan. One more. This is another Jessica. You were asking if I would be interested in exploring the Kachinas. And they are said to be ancient gods that visited and inspired much to become now our legend. And they're associated with the Hopi land. You said a lot about this. So there's a lot of interesting topics. So if we could fit this all into 1 hour, right? Some chakra healing, some questions about the subconscious and our soul, Sophia, Lao Zhao. I really am bad. Okay. And then the Kachina is like, man, we've got our hands full, don't we? Okay. I just had to take a look at all this. I'm trying to figure out where my Zoom image is again here. Okay, here we are. All right, Dylan, let me see what you have to say. Oh, Christiane. Okay, you're saying some stuff too. Hi, everyone, and Sophia, but as you feel it. Okay. I really would love to connect with Sophia today. Dylan, you say, speaking of the subconscious, I wonder if there's a physical way to check the cerebellum and link to the subconscious minds. All right. I think we've explored this before. You'd asked me, I'm almost certain it was you, about the reptilian mind, the reptilian brain. That was really interesting. And Dolores Cannon. So this is kind of all in the same realm, you know? Okay, and you say LOL, the Tao is pronounced Dao. Okay. I thought, in my recollection, I thought it was a D sound. So Dao. Okay. Excellent. All right. Well, shall we just get started with some healing? I think healing sounds good right now. And if you guys want to chat, just put something in the chat box. But I'm going to be moving through the experience and it's going to get very interesting. Okay. Here we go. All right. They're showing me the human form and they're showing me planes of existence, as though our body exists in different planes based on where the chakra is. So we could say the chakra is at the base of the spine, but it exists in another dimensional plane. So our bodies are much larger than we think. But if you kind of bring it all together, it all appears as though it's contained into this one form, but it's interdimensional. It's an interdimensional thing. So I'm looking at the root chakra, and it looks as though it is kind of tuned in with if you were to look up in Google Images the chakras, it looks like, here's one, here's one, here's one. It kind of looks like this in my vision. But there's all these plates of kind of like glass that kind of separate the different chakras. And if I go into one of these chakras, it's like in a totally different universe. So it's really cool to see it like this. And what they want to do for all of us collectively is to just bring us back together with ourselves, okay? To help us feel more collected. Because they're showing me that sometimes we can get expand, almost like, okay, how do I want to describe this? You ever get your hand in too many cookie jars? Versus you don't have any cookie jars. And that's okay. It's not about eating the cookies, right? Or not eating the cookies. It's about how, like, what all we are involved in. Sometimes it's almost like you're putting yourself into so many places. And then if you could simplify it down and just be in one place, um, that's the best way to begin to explain this, where we can kind of feel like we are more centered. Let's just call it centered, instead of many places at once. But we can still be many places at once while being centered, if that makes sense. Okay, this is how we're going to do it. There's a very lovely female. She's kind of like a Vanna White figure, and she's showing me her hands are revealing. Okay, and she shows me the plate of glass here that is kind of where the root chakra is, and then she's just moving it out of the way, and then she shows me the next glass plate, and then she moves this out of the way, and she's kind of going up the ladder of our chakras, and she's just removing, and she says she's talking about separation. So one chakra is separated from another chakra. We want them all to feel a collective connection with each other. So you don't need to go to the root chakra universe, because they're all kind of collectively within each other. So that's what she's showing me. And she's showing me kind of bringing it all into the heart center. This is really nice. So imagine you're not in a bunch of different universes, you're just in the center of yourself. And what that would feel like. You could say it's like cutting cords. It's another way to look at this. You don't realize how emotionally attached you could be about one thing, and you're still attached to it days later as it's kind of flickers into your mind every now and then. And you just need to disconnect from that, and disconnect from this, and disconnect from this. Energetically disconnect from it, because you're still feeding off of, you're kind of having an interaction with that energy that you've even, it kind of flickers back into your mind. That's because you're still connected to it. So you can disconnect to that, from that. So we can disconnect from everything and just be centered in the I am universe. And no connected cords, because we don't need to be attached to any specific thing, or even thousands of specific things over the course of years of time, and we didn't even realize we were still attached to this stuff. We just disconnect from it all by being the center of the I am universe. That even feels better. All right, the next thing. Excuse me. I see the root chakra, and I'm going to take a part of the root chakra conscious and just place it into the heart portal, okay? And I'm going to place a part of the sacral chakra conscious and then just move it into the heart portal. Now I'm going to take a part of the solar plexus chakra and place it into the heart portal. I'm even going to do it for the heart chakra. Okay. So we're going to take the heart chakra and then place it into the heart chakra. It's really good to just do that. Okay. Because we're acknowledging its existence as its own self. And it's collectively connected now with everybody hanging out in the same party, you know? Oh, hey, root chakra, you showed up. Oh, cool. There's sacral. Hi, solar plexus, heart. Yeah, you're here too, in the heart. Cool. In the center of the I am universe. I love it here. Okay. Now, throat chakra, just take a part of the throat chakra and put it into the heart. Whew. Throat's hanging out. Throat's coming in the door here. Third eye. Taking a part of the third eye, placing it into the heart. Part of the crown chakra, placing it into the heart, okay? Not just the front, but also behind, the back. We forget about the back side of ourselves. So it's good to just simply acknowledge its existence. The back of the root chakra in the heart, the back of the sacral chakra in the heart, the solar plexus chakra. The back of the solar plexus is in the heart. The back side of the heart is within the heart. The center of the I am universe, okay? Back of the throat chakra is in the heart. Back side of the third eye is in the heart. The back side of the crown chakra is in the heart. It just helps us to be aware that there is a front and there is a back, but the back is also a front too. Because when we acknowledge that consciously, it does make an energetic difference. It just does. Because we're choosing to expand our perception to realize that behind us is also in front of us. That also is a place that exists. We have a different relationship with where we put energy in front of us or behind us based on, I'm trying to move on from the past. So I put it behind me, or things that I'm not ready to do right now. I'll just put it behind me. I'll get back to it later, right? So there's things that we put behind us, but then it's still behind us. So we have a relationship with the behind that might be different than the front, because we don't think of putting things off as putting it in front of us. We want to forget about that stuff for now because we just don't have time or whatever. Okay. So we do have an interesting relationship with the front side of us and the back side of us. So, okay. Anything else I can do for just energy healing, collective energy healing for all of us? As in getting centered into the I am universe. Feeling our feet. Feeling our feet. We have feet. Even putting your feet, like both feet on the ground, okay? Feeling the ground. Yeah. Feeling our legs. Feeling our hips. Feeling our torso. Our shoulders, our arms, our hands. Our spine. Our heart, our rib cage. Being aware that we have organs, veins and arteries, bones, muscles, our neck, front and back, our face, front and back, and the top of our head, the bottom of our feet. Feeling centered in our body now. All right, so I'm going to open the door and we're going to have a conversation with the spirit realm. It's the interesting thing that comes to me is about The I am universe is kind of an energy space of my own experience, okay? Where I'm bringing to balance our chakras and the relationship that they have with each other and then with our human form. So the I am universe, where does that exist in connection with my physical form? So is there an I am universe for our physical body? And what does this have to do with our subconscious selves and our spirit? I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to read the exact language here. Give me just a moment here. Okay. I'm going to read the exact language of the question. All right. This is the beginning of it. I believe deeply in affirmations as a statement of truth and recommend your video affirmations for astral travel to anyone interested in using them. I see results when the affirmation is no longer foreign. It feels like truth. Most of us have heard stories about people being hypnotized where the hypnotist can get directly at the subconscious to perform miraculous feats like healing. Maybe spirit can shine some light on the subconscious mind's relationship to our soul. So affirmations then too, speaking a statement like I am, right? That's a powerful statement to say I am. And so how does that bring balance to yourself? So repetitiously stating it is that kind of a hypnotic thing that then brings you in alignment with that divine truth. You state it, and now it is your divine truth. So is that the subconscious mind, the hypnotist that is connecting to some aspect of ourselves, the subconscious mind beneath the surface of the conscious mind, now activating a something as guided by the hypnotist, right? And what's the relationship to our soul? So, okay. So again, the question, maybe spirit can shine some light on the subconscious mind's relationship to our soul. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see what comes up. There's a male persona that's going to talk to us, and he's kind of got a goofy personality. Like he has a really long tongue and a really small face, and his eyes are kind of squished into his cheeks, is squished into his mouth, and his tongue just kind of hanging out. It's kind of cartoon like, and then he's made out of a stick figure body, and his body is separating interdimensionally. Like I see then there's like multiple cube shapes that have intersecting lines, and you think you could see it as a flat plane, but then because of how we perceive dimension, it starts to shift and it looks like many cube shaped spaces. And the way that you look at it kind of can shift the way that the dimension itself actually looks, and it's his body that is connected to these other dimensions. So he again is defining himself as at the center of the universe, the center of the I am, center of all is myself. I am the center of all. I am at the center. So if I am at the center, then where are you? Because only I can be at the center. You can't be at the center. I'm at the center. So how in the world is all the human beings on our planet going to be at the center? Because there's already people here. And he's like, oh yeah. So we can be one. We can be one. And as one, we can be at the center. That is the I am universe. That is the I am universe. When we are all one at the center of all, center of all. He's going to talk about what this has to do, this energy conversation has to do with our physical body. And we're going to get to subconscious selves, okay? And the subconscious mind as a oneness and as separate selves, but just as a oneness. So the I am subconscious mind, the center of its I am universe, the subconscious at the center of its I am universe. He's echoing in the subconscious at the center of the I am universe, the subconscious at the center of the I am universe, the subconscious at the center of the I am universe. I am the I am universe. So what part of you is not in the I am universe? The subconscious mind is not in the I am universe, and the conscious mind is at the I am universe, and the physical body is where is the I am universe if everything is not in the at the center of the I am universe? So your consciousness now, your subconsciousness, your soul, your physical body, the universe itself, and every dimension in the universe is in the center of the I am universe. All is. So he's talking about how we try to make sense of things, and we try to make sense of it, and we try to make sense of it, and we try to make sense of it, and we try to make sense of it. What if there's nothing to make sense of but you be, but you just be, right? The center of the I am universe, do we have to try to make sense of it, or we just I am? Therefore, we just be, right? So if the subconscious is at the center of the I am universe, the physical body is at the center of the I am universe, conscious mind is at the center of the I am universe, everything is at the center of the I am universe. It's just silent. There's nothing else to understand about that. But now we want to try to understand. How do you try to understand when you are at the center of the I am universe in pure silence? Now you come back to being human. Are you separated now from the I am universe, the center of the I am universe, just so you can go back and think about things? Does that separate you from the oneness? Questioning the I don't know. What kind of affirmation is that? I am all knowing. He's actually laughing hysterically about this. I am all knowing. Because he's showing me ego and our relationship with how we define things. It's funny because we have to try to understand ourselves. But if you're in the I am universe, you don't need to even have a thought. So he's trying to, it's sort of like he's showing us again what is like a ladder, okay? And each part of the ladder, there's sort of a line here, you know, as we've got it's a ladder shape, okay? And there's a part, 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 and there's a part forever. Where, in what direction? In all directions or in just one direction? He's starting to show me how the oneness becomes a multiverse, and how it becomes defined in multiple, like infinite numbers of little dimensional perceptions of things. Is that make it separate from the center while it is going off and thinking now? It can say, this is interesting. Okay, he's showing me so many things. I'm going to just talk about this one thing, which is kind of an offshoot, but takes us back to this conversation about, you know, I am all knowing. I don't know. I am all knowing. The affirmation, I am all knowing. And he kind of says it like somebody's real flaky, somebody who's really into themselves. But they're saying it, they're stating the affirmation, but they're kind of flaky. Does that activate the divine truth of that statement? If they don't even know what that means, do they have to know? Do we have to judge their self-expression? Does that person out there define our reality? The I am universe comes back to yourself. Where's your subconscious? Where's your subconscious mind? Where's your conscious mind? Are you scatterbrained? How do you bring your mind into a center? How do you center your subconscious? Shows me it's very powerful when you collect yourself, is the only way I could describe it. You have to do it in your style, in your way. And people can judge it, but it doesn't matter because you're at the center of the I am universe. It's your experience, okay? So I'm at the center of my I am universe, okay? He's showing me how, again, the ladder and how our soul is kind of, it represents always the oneness, always represents that forever and ever and ever. It always will be a part of the source, always. So you could say that's the top of the ladder. What's interesting about the top is the ladder is laid flat. So it's kind of very peculiar because where's the top of the ladder if it's laid flat? It's all one plane. It's just one flat plane. That's it. It's just one flat plane. But if the ladder is standing upright, now you could say that's the highest vibration. You could say that is the oneness. That is the lightest body, you could say. But now when the ladder is flat, how do we interpret the lightest body if it's just a flat plane? Now we're scratching our head and using our mind to figure this out. Are we out of the I am universe trying to understand something? If we're trying to understand, that means that you don't understand. Is that an affirmation? But he shows me that the soul is kind of like, it diversifies itself because it wants to explore outside of the consciousness or the oneness of the I am universe. It wants to explore outside of that. So then it chooses this form, okay, which experiences the complexity of, I don't know. Are you serious? You think you know everything, don't you? God, you're so dumb. We live in this reality where we're judgmental of others, judgmental of ourselves. We don't know. We're trying to use affirmation so we can align with the I am universe. We're choosing meditation, yet we can't meditate. And we're all like a scrambled egg all over the place. We're like a scrambled egg that a 2-year-old took and then threw it across all over the kitchen. And it's just everywhere, right? Is our soul then everywhere? Is our mind everywhere? Are our chakras everywhere? He's talking to me about like, what is a hypnosis exactly? Because if we have a physical mind and the physical mind then defines our reality. So we say, he says he's not necessarily saying that's true. We give a lot of power to our physical brain, but the soul is powerful. And he's asking us to really look at our relationship and our collective, okay? Our collective relationship and belief system with the power of love. The power of love can change anything. If we align as a collective with that divine truth and we start working as a collective to manifest things based upon that idea, if we become centered in the I am with a collective idea, like love has power, the energy world, the spirit realm, Mother Gaia, there's practical realities, right? Like we plant the seed's watered, it takes 50 years to grow a tree or however you want to define it. And then there's the impractical reality. Some people would say that the spirit realm doesn't exist, right? So there's a collective thing going on here. The more that we become centered as a collective, into kind of a balanced, how do I want to put this? Because we're talking about the power that we give to our physical mind, the power that we give to our physical body. That's more like aligned with the practical. The impractical is that we don't need the physical mind, we don't need the physical body, that it's actually coming from our soul, our personality and all this. There's going to be an argument here that your DNA your upbringing, your brain it's what defines your personality, is what defines your capability, your athleticism, all this stuff. It makes sense, right? Because we're choosing to live in a reality where we give power to these concepts, but we can give power to any concept. That's kind of what hypnosis is giving power to a new concept internally, as though the whole human race and all is inside yourself, and you give power to that concept in the collective. The collective now gives power to that concept, and now you change and align to it. So imagine the human race is our subconscious that could manifest anything it wants, because he's showing me that the universe, you could say, is practical. But if we collectively choose to see it in a new way, it will change. It will become that new way. That is what hypnosis does, is it aligns you with a new way. Because you didn't have to think about it, did you? Just kind of happened. It became a sudden divine truth inside yourself. So is that the physical body that suddenly received a divine truth? Is that the soul? He's talking about now how we would say things like, oh, your DNA, oh, your physical brain, oh, your upbringing. Now that is what creates who you are. The soul stuff, spirit realm stuff, I don't relate to that, okay? Impractical stuff, okay. Now he's showing me what you could say is a new version of the practical truth, where it doesn't matter about the DNA, because we can change that. We can change the DNA through energy shifting. And if we start working with energy, start understanding how energy works, because there's frequency. Energy has frequency. So we play a sound that makes our brain hurt and gives us a headache, versus we play a sound that puts us in a meditative and peaceful state. You can do this at the atomic, subatomic levels. You could do this at the level of the DNA, so the DNA can hear these sounds and it can correct itself. So were you born with it? You have to live with this DNA, or is it changeable? Could we do something different here? And if it's changeable, then is it physical? If you are completely changeable, then are you physical? And what is the subconscious? Are we still attached to this mind as our reality, as the thing that derives our reality? He says we are, because that's what our collective is going through right now. That's what we're working on right now. Because he shows me people that are born with diseases and illnesses and disabilities. And that's as far as that's ever going to go, because we're choosing the practical thinking. That is practical thinking in our world. Impractical thinking is using vibrations to alter at the DNA level. But that's actually practical. Eventually we'll adopt new relationships with how we heal the body and how we alter our dynamic human race, and everything in its own time. So what is the answer then to the question? Is this, it's almost like he's saying, why to define a conscious mind, to define a subconscious mind, is related to, as though it's our physical existence then defines everything in our life. If you choose to relate to it differently, you will find a different way. So then, is that the only truth that there is, or is there another truth that you could align with? So hypnosis is a path. And that is it's like getting beneath the surface into an energetic plane in order to shift a divine truth without thinking about it. It just becomes a new alignment. He's vowing, he's going to let us simmer with this. I'm going to wait just a minute here, because I want to look at everything he's showing me. I really want to think. I mean, there's just so much here. he's laughing at me because I'm thinking. I'm basically using the affirmation, I don't understand, without stating it, because I have to go back to thinking to try to understand, to make sure I understand. Do I understand all of this? Do I have questions about all of this? oh, so you're using the affirmation, I don't understand. Are you trying to decide if you do understand? He's like trying to show us again how we state affirmations without even stating them, just by simply being human, and the way that our human behavior relates to our relationship with our reality. So is that a subconscious thing? All right, let me talk to him about the soul, because I feel like we need to talk about the soul for just a second. He just takes me back to the I am universe. Everything is in the I am universe. Everything. And he's like kind of rewinding the tape, as though we are really ahead in time. Okay. I mean, he's rewinding the tape, and then everything in time, it's sort of like, let's say there's a nucleus that kind of expands and expands and expands and expands and expands. It became all this stuff. And now there's the ladder that, here's all these planes of experiences. The souls kind of interconnect with all this stuff. So now it's all kind of being rewound, and it goes all the way back to this I am universe, the center of the universe. And then he asks, where is the spirit in relation to the subconscious? Where's the subconscious in relation to the spirit? It all begins and ends. It all is at the nucleus of the I am universe. It all is. And then he sends me back to myself as a human who is scratching my head and saying, I'm still at the toddler throwing the eggs. Like, I really want to, like, what if that's like, what does that mean about me being all over a kitchen right now? Like, how do I pull myself into just like one little egg on a plate or something? Is that like, why do I want to understand that more? Like, I want to feel collected. He's talking about this now too. He says that I've already decided, by thinking about it, I am basically stating that I am not collected. If I don't need to think about it, it's because I feel like I am collected. So if he introduces me to an image and I need to put myself in the image and feel like I'm egg thrown all over a room, and then try to understand what that means to me, then I have to explore that path. Or I don't have to. I just see myself as a put together egg, and whatever that represents to my brain or to my energy pattern or to our collective mind, or however this is, right? Now here I am, and I say I am collected. Just by looking at it, I am talking. Without saying the words, I am saying this. So I'm already separated myself out and asking the question, what does this mean to me? And how do I bring myself together? He's saying just, this is like the affirmation that I am at the center of the I am universe. Now this egg comes all together. And this is honoring the only divine truth. It's like the divine truth. The divine truth. It all begins here. It's like the alpha and the omega concept. It's like it's here. Okay. He's really funny. He looks kind of like a Mickey Mouse with a skinny body now. And he's kind of showing me the merry melodies, like da, 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 like the end of the like cartoon. That's all, folks. It's kind of what he's like right now. Well, there we go. There's something to think about, huh? Why, hello, Kyle. Thank you for joining us. Okay. I'm just getting caught up on some of these messages here, okay? Okay, so Kyle, you say, hello, Abbey. Good stuff. The I in the universe. The I in the universe, the I am. You were spelling it as EYE, the I, and then you're spelling it as the I am. I am the door. Rather than I am, try I. Sacred unity, all in one plane. So Dylan, you say, very interesting journey. Did you know that the Tao also means the way? Okay, gosh, you guys are so smart. You share some of the neatest things. I didn't even know this stuff. Hi, Joe. We have another visitor. Why, hello. I just went through this incredible experience, balancing all the chakras and then going to the I am universe and learning about the subconscious mind, the conscious, the human, the spirit. It was pretty exciting. Okay, hold on. Here we got another message. All right. So Dylan, you say, I've also been thinking about this line from the Course of Miracles a lot. Okay. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Oh, that's so poetic. All right. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. So everything is real if nothing unreal exists. Okay. So everything is real then. And everything that is real cannot be threatened. Herein lies the peace of God. Amazing. I will say, just reading that, it's kind of like where I was just trying to think, which means apparently that I don't know without saying the affirmation, because I'm trying to process that meaning inside myself, right? So yeah, how does that vibe with you? Okay, so how does that vibe with me? So it's kind of like I don't want to try to understand it in my mind. I just want to kind of align with it, which then brings us to the final sentence, which says, "Herein lies the peace of God," because I do experience that just by reading it. And it kind of brings me back to try, like, who are we if we aren't thinkers as human beings? That's kind of an innate thing that we do. But when you just receive and then you don't think about it, you just process it, it does create a vibrational experience. So what is that? That is felt. That is creating a divine awareness without even thinking about it, Gosh, thank you for sharing that. Okay, let me see here. We got other stuff on the list. Let's see what else we can do. Oh, Sophia. We're going to do Sophia, okay? Because this was the next one I had. All right. So Jessica, you said, okay, this reminds me of when Sophia fell asleep and created chaos. But who is Sophia? This came from a previous live stream. You had asked this question in the chat, and I'd asked you to get back to me about it and then remind me so that I wouldn't forget. So I am going to explore the way that you write this. You state it like, this reminds me of when Sophia fell asleep and created chaos. So she fell asleep and created chaos. But who is Sophia? Okay. I'm going to relax now. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be great. Here we go. And I'm going to take it from that line, okay? Wow, totally different vibe than where I just was. Interestingly enough, it's because you, Jessica, are defining Sophia in this very specific way. You're defining Sophia as then having fallen asleep and then as having created chaos, as though that is the only divine truth for Sophia. But you're intrigued by this divine truth. You're intrigued by this concept. You want to understand what that means to your soul, understand what that means to you. I am literally revolving into, we're going to revolve out of that I am stuff, because I'm going to revolve into a new way of communicating, a new way of connecting with this information. Okay. So, all right, I'm seeing a very extraordinary divine feminine, but she is in so much, like, she's emotionally expressing just deep emotion. She's not screaming in anguish, but she is in sorrow. And you can feel that like lightning bolts of electricity just coming off of her all around her. And she weeps and weeps and weeps. And she's massive, this massive spirit being. And then I see a reflection of her as though she is a human being. And then I see as a woman lying on the ground. And there's kind of like a spotlight upon her and everything else is black. And I hear the words, the woman is dead. And then I see images of Snow White. Snow White is dead as well, right? Because she ate the poison apple. But actually, she just needed to like the Heimlich maneuver, right? She needed to just cough that out of her throat. She's going to be fine. But it's kind of like this. So the woman is dead. But beneath the surface of that statement, there's this vibe like when the seven dwarfs put Snow White in this beautiful like glass box, right, to like a memorial, because she never looked like she was really dead. She just kind of acted like it, but really she was being reborn. And now I see the woman is going to be reborn, and there's an element of silence in the process of this rebirth of the woman. But the woman has to go through this state. She shows me like there's many layers of experiences, and the power of these emotional states creates a profound circulation of rebirth. That feels like a very simplified way of explaining that, because there's so much deeper meaning here. She has so, I mean, she is a book. She is a wealth of wisdom. Sophia is a wealth of wisdom. And I literally, I don't even feel like I'm even scratching the surface of that wealth of wisdom through this image. I mean, I feel like this image and this statement is still extremely thin and superficial and in comparison to the depths of what is being stated here, which even is more deep than my mind can understand it, because it's about time and creation. You could say like the birth of chaos. When did that happen? And so when we get flaky about this, like we try to understand, we look at Earth today and we know about the divine feminine. This has come up in many conversations over the years. Women are trying to take their power back. Women are trying to be equals with men. All this stuff that is coming out. Because there's a change, there's a vibrational change in the balance between the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It's got to come into balance, right? It's got to come into balance. So we could see it as this kind of path of the woman becoming the subservient personality, the woman being raped, the woman being taken advantage of, the woman being used, the woman being seen as less than, right? Not as intelligent as, good for cooking and cleaning, because the woman had to go through that phase of time. The woman did. And going through that phase of time, did the spirit of the woman die in that persona? Because what is the whole of the woman that is being expressed here? Or is this taking away from the whole of the woman so that only a part of the woman is expressed, which is the comfort zone for the insecure man at the time? But you see how we're looking at this from a human standpoint. We're talking about Sophia here. We're talking about the birth of chaos here. And we're talking about something so much more than words could explain. Because this is more than planet Earth, okay? All right, I'm going to focus in on her because she's just a big deal. She's a big expression of, I mean, she's giant in the scene. And she's weeping. And I'm looking at her. And I'm a woman. And I'm walking to the spotlight where this woman is dead, right? Oh, the unexpected happens. I lay down into this woman that is dead. And something changes in Sophia. She sees something new in the woman that is dead. And something changes within her own heart, and she breathes like a dragon, breathes fire, but she breathes light into this body. And I start to feel the weight of like every female form in the universe. And believe it or not, it's kind of gross feeling, because it's just like I'm all scrunched in with like these layers and layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of bodies. And I'm just like one of this mass. It's kind of gross feeling for some reason. And I'm trying to stand up, but I'm very wobbly. I feel like I'm like a sphere. I'm like a ball, like a meatball, and I can't. I'm very wobbly, and I can't find my footing. And I'm disoriented, and my mind. She says she cannot help me because she's already breathed life. She breathed light. She, I am now standing. I am a part of herself. I'm a part of her creation, but I now have to find my own way through this creation. As herself, a part of me, finding her own way through this creation. Because in a way, this is what comes to me. It's like, for her to understand her whole self, she has to go through fractions of self in a way. Like, gosh, I don't even think that's the right way to explain this, because I don't feel as myself as a whole, because I also don't feel herself as a whole, because we are having to find our way now as one, and we don't even understand the oneness of each other, or even our oneness with Sophia. And it's very awkward and very like heavy and imbalanced and blubbery and slimy feeling. And I do feel like a giant meatball trying to walk with short stubby legs. But she nods and says, this is good. She says, this is good. And she watches the struggle. She watches the struggle. Is that chaos? Am I finding myself sinking into chaos? No, but I am struggling. In this experience, I am struggling. Now let me tune into other females in the same meatball. Okay. These women don't want to help each other. These women just want to be independent. These women just want to deal with their own problems and not deal with each other's problems. And I cry on the inside and I say, why can't we work together? Why isn't my problem your problem and your problem highlight, as in we can help each other out? Like, why can't we neutralize these problems? Why can't we find the solutions and work together? Why is there so much separation going on in here? Why is there so much ridicule? Why is there so much disgust and disappointment? It sounds like women and like Jerry Springer type reactions to things. Women pointing fingers at women, women turning their back on women, women being too good. You're a tramp. You're a the nerve. Ugh, look at her hair. Ugh, look at her body and the way she dresses. Ugh, she thinks she's so smart. Ugh. You know, like I see women who are lesbian. I see women who are standing up for women's rights, and other women saying annoyed by that, and women who are approval of that, and women who are it's just like this just becomes more and 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 more of like this women's judgmental personality. And it feels hopeless in here, and it feels gross to me, and I'm confused. And I'm looking at big Sophia and I'm saying, why am I in this meatball with this? I don't relate to this. I want nothing to do with this. She says that is what I'm saying through you. And all these are her. All these reactions to all the women, all this is her. Individually, we are all then collectively her. Women, all women combined are her. So she herself is this tramp. She herself is the one pointing a finger and calling herself a tramp. She is also the one saying, I want nothing to, this is just drama. I want nothing to do with this. She herself is that. So every woman is collectively then her. And she then now is all these she's every woman now. And the way every woman treats every woman. Why is she like this? Why is she not whole? But she says, though, that she is whole through us all. And the way that we are acting as women creates this meatball that I feel gross inside of, which then Sophia feels gross inside of, which then Sophia also does not see it in this way because she is all the women. And I say, this is how the woman is waking up then from being dead, awakening as a gross meatball. And she is she's happy with this. She's at peace with this. She is fine with this. And she says, I will not assist because they will have to find their way. They will have to find their way because each one of them is her already trying to find their way. So she herself is finding her way through each and every one of us. We are assisting her as we are a part of her. So chaos is she is not representing so chaos is a very specific type of energy. This is more like finding your path. It's not, it's like it doesn't have that chaos nature to it. Even if there's a woman shooting another woman, or a woman belittling another woman, a mother abusing a daughter, like it sounds like chaos, doesn't it? It sounds like things have gone nuts. The Sophias of the world have lost their way. It's just like we're all Sophia. Every woman is Sophia. Like she really represents women. She's not showing me anything with masculinity. She really represents femininity, women. But it doesn't feel like chaos. It just feels like finding the path, or I'm on the path of self-discovery, which isn't chaotic. Even if it appears to be chaotic, it is the path. It's kind of like you could say that Snow White and the poison apple, like it was her stepmother that even poisoned her. That is also Sophia poisoning herself as Snow White. Snow White being poisoned by herself as a stepmother. Snow White falling. Now, Snow White is now in this encasement, right? Snow White is now awakening, to herself again. It's just like the woman, is that chaotic? That's pretty jacked up, like stepmother poisons stepdaughter. That's pretty jacked up stuff right there. But is it chaos? Because Sophia is not saying that that is chaos. She's saying that is her relationship with herself. Is that chaos? And she's circulating in throughout all of this. This is why I'm trying to define, is she whole or is she fragmented? Is she asleep or is she awake? And there's a mystery about this. And I feel like there's so much to Sophia that this is just a tiny little thread of information. This is a tiny little thread for us to contemplate, for us to think about, okay? And it is about women, all right? I like to be about all of us because we're all part of each other, but it's meant to be about women. And I'm sure men out there, you could say, yeah, that sounds like a woman to me. Women have kind of distinctive natures like this. So that's Sophia. We're all a part of Sophia. We're all just one big giant meatball of women. The collective woman as one looks like a big giant meatball that is very awkwardly moving around. That's interesting. Anything else on this for right now? No, we're getting close on time here. Just, she says, please, it's almost like give power to the light that breathes in the life force energy. Because when we are grateful for that life, when every woman is grateful for that life, then they are grateful for themselves, which allows them to be grateful for each other. And it is very important that women learn how to be grateful for women, that women are grateful for women. Women are grateful for women. And she believes that we are grateful for each other, as she then is grateful for herself. That is her highest caliber speaking. And she is asking us to be grateful. And she shows me and the meatball needs to be grateful for all these like classic statements. And it sounds like I'm a Jerry Springer show, but to be grateful for every type of woman there is out there, every type of mother, every type of female. We have to be grateful. Because when we choose gratitude inside ourselves, we become grateful for ourselves. It creates power in the collective woman. That's where the focus is, not on the chaos, but on the light that breathes life into the woman. Is the woman being grateful for women, then grateful for herself. And that will change everything, is literally what she's showing me. That is pretty darn cool. And that is cool stuff. You can't deny that's pretty darn cool stuff. Okay. All right. There's conversation going on here. Let me see if I can. Okay. So, oh, Christiane, you say so interesting. Okay. I'm all caught up with the messages. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all your support. It's so happy. I'm so happy to see you guys here and just getting to talk about some things and getting to have this experience with all of you. All right, I'm going to say goodbye for now. I look forward to next week, and send me some private message or post a message to a video in Patreon. And if you have any requests or for future YouTube Patreon live streams, just make a note of it, okay? And then I'll put it on the list. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit kooky in my brain because I just went through a lot of experiences there. Yeah, so that, okay. All right, have a really great day, everybody. Thank you so much again. Bye for now.